In this video, we're going to be learning about strategies for improvement. Every child has different developmental ranges, and so in your developmental observation you had to start off with observing the child's environment, and then you had to look at each domain. You had to look at the cognitive domain, the language development domain, the physical development domain, their motor skills development domain, and their social emotional development, as well as their perceptual development. Perceptual is their senses. In the first column it says, what should the child be doing? The next column says, what is the child doing? And then the last column says, what is the child not doing? So after you've looked at that, you were supposed to reflect on the different stages of development and go back and look at your growth charts and look at your development charts and the different videos that I've listed, kind of the different mile markers. They're also in your textbook, and they're also in the list and zero block in your Moodle course. So I want you to look at those and say, is the child on target here? And then look for things that the child was not doing, maybe things that they should be doing, but not things that you didn't observe, but something like, for example, if a child is not using a spoon, but they might be 2 years old or something like that. So they're still eating with their fingers. That's something that a child should be doing, and the spoon should be present so you could see that the child should be doing that. Not that the spoon was absent and then the child didn't have an opportunity. So make sure it's something that a child should be doing and is not mastered yet. And then I want you to think about what is it that you think could improve that. So the next section is about that. The next section is about their activity plan. So the template looks very much like the observation in that it has the different domains. It has the cognitive, the language, the physical, the motor, the social, emotional, and the perceptual domains. And so what you have to do, there's 3 columns. The first one says, describe the next stage of development in this child's domain. So again, if the child isn't eating with a spoon, then the next stage would be the child to hold the spoon while eating. And then it says, plan an activity that would develop the skill in this domain. So in this particular child's case, if the child's not eating with a spoon, they might need practice holding the spoon. So an activity might be to have a bowl of dry beans and a spoon for the child to move the beans with the spoon from one container to another. And then the last column says, specify how this activity enhances that domain. So you would elaborate on the fact that the child's using their fine motor skills to grasp the spoon, and they're using their eye-hand coordination in order to move the beans from one container to another. So you have to do this for each domain for this one particular observation. And when you finish, so the whole chart will be filled in. Every domain will have 3 columns, and every domain will be filled in.